First, you gotta understand what a disability actually is. What's its definition? Now, I can already feel you rolling your eyes, right? A definition? Seriously? Everybody knows what a disability is. Well, yes, but you need to understand the legal nuance because you could be disabled under the common layperson meaning of that word, but if your medical issue does not meet the legal definition of that word for your state, then your job is not protected. According to the ADA, which applies to all workers in the country, the basic definition of disability is a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits a major life activity, one or more major life activities. California's definition, which is a part of the Fair Employment and Housing Act, defines it broader. A disability under California law removes the word substantially. So a physical or mental impairment that limits one or more major life activities. Notice that the word substantially is removed. That means individuals with kind of short-term or temporary conditions may qualify for protection under California's version of the law, though the same condition might not qualify under the federal ADA version of the law. A little complicated, but it's important that you understand the nuance. So, okay, Branigan, what is a major life activity? Well, this is a little bit easier. The ADA and similar state laws define major life activities to include things like seeing, hearing, eating, sleeping, walking, standing, lifting, bending, breathing, speaking, learning, reading, thinking, and most importantly to our discussion today, working. Work is a major life activity. So if your physical or mental condition substantially limits, or simply limits if you're in California, one of those major functions, you've met the definition of disability. Well, okay, enough of this definition stuff. To bring all of this into light, let's look at some examples, right? A physical disability, what is that? It's any physical condition that substantially limits a major life activity, right? This includes things like deafness, blindness, missing limbs, mobility impairments, like you're confined to a wheelchair, cerebral palsy, and chronic or episodic conditions like HIV/AIDS, hepatitis, epilepsy, seizure disorder, diabetes, MS, heart disease. But it also includes things like cancer, broken bones, torn ligaments, cosmetic disfigurements, and the list goes on. I mean, the list is almost endless. Well, but okay, Branigan, that's a lot of mumbo jumbo. What about the common cold? Generally, no, you are not disabled if you have a cold. Short-term things that are a minor inconvenience usually don't qualify as a disability under this law. Well, what about COVID or the flu? That largely depends on how serious it is, meaning how much does it limit your major life activities. If you have a severe form of one of these things, such as long-haul COVID, you need to get a doctor's note to substantiate how much it impacts your ability to do your job and how much it impacts your major life activities. Well, okay, well, what about mental disabilities? A mental disability is any mental or psychological disorder that, again, limits a major life activity. This can include things like learning disabilities, autism spectrum disorders, schizophrenia, and chronic or episodic conditions such as clinical depression, bipolar disorder, PTSD, and OCD. But what about things like ADHD and ADD? Again, this largely depends on how serious it is, meaning how much does it limit your major life activities. In California, these can absolutely qualify as a disability if they're serious, but have a much harder time qualifying under federal law because it would be hard to win in front of a jury that your ADHD substantially limits a major life activity. Now, we are going to dive deeper into this topic in our next video that analyzes the shady ways HR will refuse to accommodate you. You're definitely going to want to watch that video after you finish this one. The short clip you just watched was taken from my complete video called "When Must HR Accommodate You?" If this information was applicable to you, I strongly recommend that you watch the original video in full to gain a complete understanding of my meaning and context. There's a link in the description and a legal disclaimer at the end. As you probably know by now, I'm a California lawyer. If you worked in California and you got fired from your job and you think something unlawful happened, don't be afraid to give my office a call for a free consultation. Thank you for watching.